Welcome to the Womenomics podcast. Think of this time as soul care with your hosts, Tiara and Corinne. Woo! Episode 8.
Episode 8.
Yo, time is flying, but I'm really excited for this episode because we talk about some stuff that needs to be talked about. Honestly, this episode is for me. I know it's probably for you too, but this one is really y'all listening, but this is for me.
I disagree. I believe this episode is for me, and you're going to help me. You're going to help me, and maybe you're going to help yourself through helping me, because today we talking about neglecting ourselves as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And my particular focus for me personally is health. And I feel like I have been the most health conscious adult when I had a 9 to 5. I had a dedicated schedule. I knew what I was eating every meal. I was drinking my water because you just walk over to the water cooler in the office. It was in a big government office, my last job. So I'm putting a lot of steps in. I had a regimented life. I prepped my meals for my family because I didn't have that kind of time in the evening. I had balance and structure. Now I'm grabbing chips. I'm sometimes not eating. I'm on the road. I'm holding my pee. I'm not drinking enough water. I am eating weird odd times. I'm hungry. I'm grabbing fast food. And I was just telling Tierra earlier that I committed to drinking water in the morning when I wake up. And I look at that bottle of water on my nightstand and walk right past it and go make coffee. And I know what I need to do. And more importantly, I understand how vital it is to have a good health in your mind, body, spirit when you're running a business, because it takes so much of you as a small business owner. You wear so many hats and you're constantly building and innovating and creating, and you need a clear mind, you need your analytical brain, you need creativity, you need energy, you need restoration as well. And I understand that, which makes it harder for me because I'm not doing the things I need to do. And then I say to myself, well, the reason is because I don't have time. And every day, life hit me different volume of calls, different appointments. And then I'm a mother on top of all of that. So that's a whole nother full-time job. So I find myself knowing what I need to do and not doing it. And I just spiral down feeling guilty and low energy. And I'll live to see another day and I'll do the same damn thing. So Tierra, I need you to, in this episode, to tell us about your journey and how you know what works, because you have a toolkit for wellness, and I want to learn from that, and maybe in you sharing, you can reveal the things that's not working for you, and then the public can help us.
Yes, you know what? That's really what we need. It's interesting that you say that, and you started off with talking about what it was like when you were in like your 9 to 5 corporate job. And I would have to say, for me, like some people know this about me, some people don't know this about me, right? So 3 years ago, because it's 2023, right? Yes, 2020, I went on the like ultimate spiritual health wellness journey, right? I had like COVID just happened, so we already know that tore people up in terms of just like staying inside. You get to eat whatever you want, like you know what I mean. Like it really did its damage beyond just what it did to people mentally. Um, the accessibility feature and just being home all the time and not, going out, being fearful to go outside and all those other things. Like people always talk about that COVID weight, and that COVID weight ain't no joke. Like that was a real phenomenon for like those year and a half, 2 years. And for me, it was the opposite experience, because everything just like shut down and it was so quiet. It literally left me with all of my bad habits and choices yelling at me so loudly because nothing else was happening, right?
Mm,
All of the other distractions were gone.
mm,
And so, though that was the moment when I started taking like an intentional and active route in like my wellness, understanding what my wellness is. Starting out with wellness, you have to understand what are the things that make you feel good. What are the things that make you feel great? What are the things that don't make you feel good or great? And how can we reverse that, where we're maximizing the things that make us feel great and minimizing the things that make us feel crappy?
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And that was really the beginning of the journey for me, like being able to self audit and identify. Once I self audited and identified, then I had to like make that intentional change, move away from certain things and add certain things into like my life. So for me, I wasn't big on like movement. Like I was like, oof, child. I think my highest I was like 350 pounds. I was not
Mm.
moving. I wasn't going nowhere. Okay. Going to the
Mm.
refrigerator and back. And
Refrigerator.
right. And so like for me, my wellness looked like I didn't like the way I looked. I did not feel confident. I did not like how my clothes fit. And I just, like you said, I'm a mom too. And at that time, my daughter was maybe like 2, 3. Like they're at their like rambunctious, like a lot of energy, stage. And like I ain't have it in me. Like I had a lot on me, but I ain't have it in me.
Mm-hmm.
And so my biggest thing is like I have to figure out how to get this like weight off. And I know that I like to eat things I'm not supposed to eat. And I like to drink all my sodas and my coffees, and like I don't drink enough water and like all those other things. So that was a part of the audit, right? I'm looking at the things that I'm currently doing that I know is not aiding to my wellness, and the things that I ain't doing enough of that
Mm-hmm.
I know is going to help me. Like, let's just be real. So a lot of TV, a lot of late nights, a lot of snacking and things of that nature, where I wanted to be someone who got up early, who got like and it like spent time outside. Is something about being outside and getting that vitamin D from the sun, and just like that being in nature and getting that energy, that is a mood booster for me. And I've
Mm-hmm.
recognized that. So I started to prioritize that. I knew I had a lot of weight on me, so I wanted to do something that wasn't as strenuous, that'll still help me get it off. And I knew that my weight also was contributed to my nutrition, or my lack of having balanced nutrition. So I took more, intention with that as well. And so putting all those things together, I was able to lose 85 pounds. I was still working at a job. So when I used to do my work, I would work out during my work hours. Rutgers, if you ever heard me, if you ever hear this episode, it's too late. I got y'all.
Right. You can't fire me now.
Can't find me
Because I wasn't working. That's for damn sure.
now. I was not working. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. But I used to prioritize, like, okay, I need to get whatever workout I'm gonna do, I need to do it before 12, right?
Mm.
And so,
Why is
but
that?
I just worked out. I was someone who I felt like I want to work out in the morning when I have the most amount of energy, because I ain't do nothing but sleep all night for the last 8 hours. I ain't do nothing but
Mm-hmm.
sleep. So I can't say I'm tired, because
Right.
I've been resting. Okay.
Right.
So I definitely wanted to do it in the morning. I know I wanted to avoid the evening and the afternoon, because after a full day of whatever, I don't give a damn what it is. And after a full day, I am like exhausted. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
in me is like, let me go and push and exert my body and sweat for 45 minutes. Like nothing was, girl, bye. I'm getting in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking my bra off. I ain't going back outside. Like I'm getting in the bed. I ain't doing this.
Right.
Crazy. So I had to recognize like my time constraints, and then again, like moms, like parents, you do your 9 to 5, and you do your 5 to 9. So
Mm-hmm.
my 5 to 9 was so, structured around my daughter and entertaining her and getting her ready for bed and starting the next day, and just trying to decompress from the day that I had. That like working out felt more of a hindrance than something aiding to my relaxation.
Mm, that
So
that hits right there. And I
yes,
know a lot of working mothers, whether you have a job or a business, they can relate. And I know as I get older, like as the day kind of wraps up, the last thing I feel like doing is any more work. And working
ever.
out to me is work.
Yep.
So, and I haven't implemented doing things in the morning because I feel like that's the top of the day. You got to get to this money. You have to do some follow-ups. You need to be, I'm at my peak in terms of energy level for my business. So
Mm.
because of that, I'm not taking advantage of exercise. And I really think it's a mindset shift that needs to happen for me, because if it's 9 a.m., my daughter is at school now. I'm ready to I have no distractions. I am ready to focus on my business. But
Yep.
if I was at the gym or I'm taking a walk, I feel kind of guilty, like I'm doing some leisure stuff and I don't have no business out there doing that. I need to be working. And I think that is the wrong perspective to have, because I am taking care of so many more things, my body, my mind, so that my business can flourish. And I just haven't been able to make that switch. So, or maybe it's just a BS excuse as to why I'm not exercising, but I feel like I can't afford to take any time away when I'm child free.
But you know what? That's honestly how I felt too, because when I was at my top peak, wellness phase, I was guruing it up, getting all my people on board. We fasting, we working out, we doing this, we doing that. I was at a job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like we just joked about, but it's the reality. My job was still paying me when I was at the gym, when I was supposed to be on a call, or you
Mm.
know what I'm saying, or doing something like that. So it is the fear of, I'm supposed to be doing something else with my time that is supposed to be making my business revenue or making it more aware, but instead I'm playing around on, like, walking around in this park, or I'm playing around on this machine because I don't really know what I'm doing. And I think a lot of the times, at least for me, it's because I was going into those workouts without a plan.
Mm. I like that.
So, yeah, so I feel like when I go and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get up this morning, I'm gonna go and walk around at my local park for 30 minutes, or I'm gonna walk around for 45 minutes. That's typically how long it takes me to do 2 miles. That's my intention, right? I'm only staying there for those 30 minutes. And the grand scheme of my day, and my 24-hour day, these 30 minutes are a drop in the bucket
Mm-hmm.
of everything, or all the other opportunities I could, like, do work today. And let's not do 24 hours, right? Because we still have hours of sleep. We have hours with our kids. Let's just do the regular 8-hour workday where our children are at school, or we just have this distracted time.
And
What is 30 minutes?
I can't tell you the number of 30-minute pockets of my day that I waste. You see?
Yep. Yep. Like, what is the, like, where you really break it down, what is 30 minutes in an 8-hour day? I bet you if you cut up all the times that you're on your phone, all the times that you walking around, going to your refrigerator, on the phone, lollygagging, whatever, you can put probably so many 30-minute like time periods when you could have swapped out one of those for a walk.
That is so true, Tiara. That is
And
so
it don't take away from your business
true.
at all.
Yeah, and that includes rewriting your to-do list,
Yep.
restacking papers on your desk. Like, come on now, you ain't doing.
Erasing emails, like.
Mm, That's true. That is true. So,
It is.
what have you experienced on the other side? Like the journey and starting the journey, we understand that, but the consistency of it. What has been the benefits for you?
To be completely honest with you, I've definitely lost a decent amount of my consistency when I started entrepreneurship, because, again, I fell into the same ideology that if I'm not working on my business 24/7, my business is not going to succeed. If I
Say
don't put every ounce of free, undivided attention and time into my business today, I am a failure.
mm, that's
Where,
how
like, your
it
mind, like, be playing tricks on you.
is. Mm-hmm.
A whole failure. So for me, what I had to actually identify was looking back on these last, let's say, 3 months, where I have not put my wellness and my physical health first. How did that benefit me? How much did my business grow in revenue? How confident did I feel closing certain things, or stepping out on faith, or and stretching myself, or like any of those things? How did I deal with disappointment? How did I deal with frustration when things did not go my way? Did I go and eat because I was sad? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had to recognize in the last 3 months, when I wasn't putting myself first and my business first. I mean, excuse me, when I wasn't putting myself first, and when I was putting my business first, how did that actually benefit my business? Did I do something exponentially amazing that is like, I will never work out again because I made $3 million in 2 minutes
And the
from
answer is a
working on
hard
my
no.
business? Right. Hard no.
That is so true.
So
This is super
completely.
helpful because I just needed to hear from another person who understands my struggles, hear you tell the truth so that I could hear that and implement that. And I also wanted to know, Tiara, what has kept you say you haven't been as consistent, but to lose 85 pounds, that's a journey, and that requires consistency. That requires, there are days you don't feel like it, there are days you're hormonal, there are days it's dark and gloomy and you're not feeling it, there are days you're tired, but with consistency, that's how you get to losing 85 pounds, because that's not overnight. So what was it? Was it something small? Was it affirmations? Was it books? Was it just you became in love with the journey? What was it that kept you going? Because I know I should drink more water in the morning, and I walk straight past that bottle, even though I know hydration is good. It wakes my organs up in the morning. It's going to clear my skin that's breaking out. It's like, but I'm going straight for the coffee. It is what it is. So I can't, it's like I'm having a difficult time being consistent at this point in my life. And I used to be incredibly consistent with things that I just decided to be consistent with. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious, how did you stay on that journey?
I mean, like you said, it's really a decision, but I ain't even gonna hold you. And I say this all the time. When I first started out, it was because I just felt like a lack of confidence. Like at the
Mm,
end of the day, how you feel, how you look, like all of that goes into your confidence. Like if you're not dressing nice or you don't like how your clothes fit, you're going to feel less confident. If you don't like how you know your face is looking or your hair is looking or whatever, you're going to feel less confident. And when you start being intentional and working out and being consistent and starting to see some of the results, or even just being proud of your consistency, you're going to start to feel more confident. Sometimes it's not even about the results. Sometimes it's about how you feel when you show up for yourself every day. So that's what it was. Actually, thank you, because you made me remember that. And I need to write this down somewhere. I used to ask myself in the morning, how are you going to show up for yourself today? Not
mm,
for my daughter, not for my business, not for my friends, not for my man, for myself. How are you going to show up for yourself today? What does that look like? What do you need to do? What did you do yesterday that you want to continue to do today and maybe do it even a little better? And one of the things that I prioritize, it was three things I prioritized. No, excuse me, four things I prioritized. I prioritized water intake. So I knew I needed to drink more water. At one point in time, I replaced all beverages with water and I was only drinking water. That is extreme.
wow,
That's after
that's
you get
good
like a
though.
couple of weeks of like turning down stuff to drink water, then you're like, okay, I see like the ultimate benefits, right? So I was only drinking water. Two, I was reading 10 pages a day. Whatever book I chose, I will only read 10 pages a day. Nothing more, nothing less. Not a chapter, not if I feel like I was, a little bit more alert, I might read to 15 pages. No, I kept it at 10. That was a consistency. That's what I did. So that was the second thing. The third thing was I decided to do 30 minutes of walking every day.
Mm,
Intentional movement, but just I started off with walking. Intentional movement is literally moving your body with the intention that you said for the amount of time that you said. So if you said, I'm going to go walk in the park for 30 minutes, when you finish that walk for 30 minutes, you completed your intentional movement. If I'm going to do a 45-minute boxing class, when I finish that 45 minutes boxing class, that's my intentional movement because I intended to move my body for that period of time and I completed that. So that started to build again that consistency for me. And then the last one, meditation, 5 minutes, no more, no less. Just did a 5 minute meditation on YouTube. A lot of mine I did on like grounding and stuff like that, just trying to bring myself out of my thoughts.
mm-hmm,
But I would do 5 minutes every single day, nothing more, nothing less. So I try to keep stuff that did not have a huge time commitment
mm-hmm.
that right after gave me that and we spoke about this I think 2 weeks ago, that emotional, like transfer, like that emotional currency, me doing this 5 minute meditation, 5 minutes out of an hour, that's 60
Right.
minutes only to five. That 5 minutes made such a difference in my mental space and it made a difference on how I felt about myself because I stayed consistent, because I showed up for myself. It made me realize that I can show up for myself. And these are all the ways that I do it. And then you start to bring that, you start to build up on that brag sheet, right? Then you
Mm-hmm.
start to realize, like, okay, hold up. I can do this. I
Mm.
can do all of this. I can show up for myself and show up for my business and show up for my family. It does not have to take that much out of me. I'm making it take that much out of me because I'm thinking about all the things that I have to do in order to achieve that versus practically pulling out 4 things I can do every single day that collectively will not take more than an hour, collectively will not take more than an hour out of my day.
I absolutely love this. This is super helpful. Like, it's stuff we hear all the time, but I just needed you to say it your way because you are a walking testimony of that. And I want everybody to know that, like, Tiara does fall off the wagon. She
Yes, it
will,
is.
like, probably abandon all these things. But one
Yep.
thing about this woman, she has the ability to get back on. She will, like, decide, and that is just something powerful about that. And I know she does not give herself that credit, but she will stop all of that. She will tell the truth about all of that she stopped. And then she'll be like, yeah, I'm about to, like, today she said she's going on a 24-hour water fast. Like, God bless you,
Mm,
honey, because that ain't for me. That's for you.
necessary.
But she will recommit herself, and because I think what I'm gaining here is that she's seen it happen before. She knows how to show up for herself. She knows the benefits of doing it. She has had the journey and the experience behind her to really remind herself again. And I think the fifth thing that she didn't mention that she probably has that we all also need is to surround ourselves with people that's going to pour into you,
Yeah.
not people that's going to be like, you working out again, or trying to lure you with buffalo wings, or laughing at the fact that you meditate 5 minutes a day, or keep telling you how ridiculous it is to be outside walking in the cold. Like, to be around people who are going to push you. Even if you don't have physical people, you feed yourself with podcasts and
Yep.
motivational things and prayer and just being close to God to keep you going. So I'm ready. I'm gonna drink my water every morning.
I know that's right.
I'm
I'm here
ready.
for
I
it.
just needed this episode for me. I'm selfish, but it's for me.
And sometimes you gotta trick yourself too, because you were speaking about like the fast food and stuff, right? And that used to be something. I mean, at one point in time, I will always get, like, every single day, I was getting a large fry and a large vanilla iced coffee from McDonald's, and that was just my, whatever meal. It's quick, it's easy. I was full. I got my coffee. I ain't get, no burger. Like, you almost trick yourself into feeling good
Mm-hmm.
about your bad choices, right? I didn't do this. I didn't do that. So one thing that I used to do, which is, again, now you have to basically re-trick your mind, right? You tricked your mind into the bad stuff, re-trick it to do the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say if there was more than 2 people in the line at the drive-through, I won't go.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. I like how you did
It,
that.
child, it's always at least one. It's always at least 2 people. I don't think I've ever drove past, unless they was closed. I don't think I've ever drove past like a fast food restaurant, a McDonald's, a Taco Bell, a Burger King, a Chick-fil-A, and any, especially Chick-fil-A, any of those
Mm-hmm.
things that has less than 2 people in the drive-through line at the time you looking at it. It ain't gonna happen. It's
Mm.
not gonna happen, and you're gonna keep driving.
Mm. I like that.
That was my cheat code to make me make a better decision and to pause my impulsivity, because that's really what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they call it like practicing the pause. Like, don't I came from a case management, public health, mental health like background. That's where I came from before I started entrepreneurship. So this is like all these little terminologies and stuff. Like, apparently these are real things.
Oh, I thought you made that up. I thought you made.
No, no, these are real things.
I was like, she's so smart.
Practicing the public. Those are transferable skills, though. Okay,
Yes, indeed.
take them with you. Don't leave them. Take them
That's
with you.
right.
But that was super important to me. That's what kind of got me started. It's like, okay, well, now I know I'm not going to eat this BS. What am I actually going to eat? And so those times I either, went home and found something. Maybe I just ate something that was smaller, quicker. Maybe stop, and I'm like a watermelon girl. So, like, stop and got like some watermelon. Watermelon's very fulfilling. You just want to start surrounding yourself with like things that you like, which again will benefit your body, benefit your health, benefit your mood and how you feel, because that ultimately is going to impact your confidence. And you're not going to have a successful business without confidence. I don't care where you at, what you look like, what your business is, even if you behind the scenes and nobody ever sees your face, you're going to feel more confident when you show up for yourself, and that's going to be transferred into your business, literally infused into your business.
Mm,
Don't underestimate it.
mm. Thank you, Tiara. This was good.
This
This
is for
was
me.
really good. I think it's for everybody. Everybody who listening, unless you are a fitness and wellness and nutritional enthusiast. If you're not that, then take heed to the things that Tiara is sharing, because I definitely have.
Yes, I needed this for myself though. I need to get back on track. I need to get back to really, like, again, putting yourself first, showing up for yourself, and try to show up for yourself like as early as possible. Something as simple as when you wake up in the morning and your water bottle is literally already right there, just take that first sip. That's just a version of showing up for yourself. When you look at the things you know you need to do, this is
Mm,
my mantra. Am I going to show up for myself today?
mm.
Am I?
Oh, I'm writing it down.
Like, am
That
I?
might be the name of this episode. Am I going to show up for myself today?
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
You know I do.
Mm.
Because that's real, y'all. But we just, really appreciate y'all just listening to us and allowing us to be transparent about where we are in our journey, where some of our successes and our struggles are. And I think it's just something about this podcast that lets every entrepreneur, business owner who listens to this know, like, we're on this journey with you. You is
Indeed.
not alone.
Indeed. I do not have it all together, baby.
No, it is struggle bus over here, probably like 60% of the time. We trying to flip that. We trying to invert that by the
Right.
end of the year.
At least every season we make some strides, okay?
Right.
I'm
That's
not where I
important.
was, that's for sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
No, super important. But we just appreciate y'all so much for listening. If you have any additional tips, anything that you do to put yourself first as a business owner, as a entrepreneur, please drop it in the comments. And maybe share the ways that you're neglecting yourself as well. Sometimes we don't even recognize that that's a form of neglecting ourselves, or we didn't think about it as neglect. We didn't know what to categorize it as, but now we do,
Mhm.
because we see this as an example. So throw some examples. What do you do to show up for yourself? What ways do you neglect yourself? Because once we recognize it, then we have that opportunity to change it. So give yourself that chance. Do a self audit.
I love it.
Yes, y'all. Well, thank you. We will see you next week. Happy Womenomics Wednesday. Bye, y'all.
Bye.